Hi everyone, and thank you for joining me today. This is our weekly vlog from Cardiac Rehab Online, and I'm Christian. So if you want to return to living a normal life, restore your confidence and improve your health for the future, then you're in the right place. In this guide, I'll outline my top benefits every heart patient should know about cardiac rehab. Our channel is specifically designed for heart patients to assist in their recovery and get back to normal life. So today, the benefits of cardiac rehab. We see more and more information on exercise in recent years. It's everywhere, from joggers doing the London Marathon to World's Strongest Man, trendy exercise routines like yoga and Pilates. We've got adverts for specialist home gym equipment, and the list goes on and on. One small problem for heart patients. Most of this mainstream exercise and their products aren't really suitable for heart patients. So where does that leave you guys? We know it's important to do exercise, but there are many variables that need to be addressed to ensure that your exercise program is part of the solution and doesn't become part of the problem. In this guide, I will outline what you can do to get the most from your efforts with as little risk as possible by following the FITT principle. Okay, so let's start with the F. Frequency. This is related to the time, which we'll look at below, which is 150 minutes per week, which is recommended. So if you divide that into 7 days, roughly 20 minutes per day. However, as a heart patient, we are primarily concerned with improving cardiovascular endurance. This means that in the early stages of rehab, 20 minutes per day may be adequate, but as you improve, you'll need to go for a little longer to gain cardiovascular endurance improvements. This results in a schedule that could look a little like this. So 2 to 3 sessions per week of 45 minutes, and you could do a cardiac rehab exercise class on alternate days, for example, followed by 10 to 20 minutes brisk walking on the other days, or whatever exercise you feel appropriate, like swimming, cycling, golf, etc. The key here is to ensure that you're reaching the minimum target for activity. Okay, intensity, principle 2. If you are safe to exercise independently, then sessions of 20 to 60 minutes 3 times per week, or as discussed above for frequency, should be about 60 to 80% of your heart rate maximum. So we use an equation, which is 220 minus your age equals your upper limit. So then we would multiply that by about 60 to 80%, which is the 60 is the lower limit and the 80 is the upper limit. So to keep you in that 60 to 80% range to train effectively. An example would be a 70-year-old person, 220 minus 70, their age, equals 150. And this is their theoretical maximum heart rate. Now we can multiply this by 60%, which equals 90, and that's the lower limit, or we can multiply this by 80%, which would equal 120, and that would be their upper limit. Now, there's a caveat to that, which is patients on beta blockers or on heart-lowering medication will have reduced resting and maximum heart rates. The expected reduction in maximal heart rate is about 20 to 30 beats per minute. So another example for this would be 220 minus 70, which is the age, minus 30, which is the effect of the beta blocker. Then that would equal 120 beats per minute for a maximum heart rate. There are a few ways in which we can monitor the intensity levels when exercising. One of the ways is to use a subjective assessment on how hard you feel that you're working, using what we call the modified Borg scale. So this is a scale from 1 to 10. So 1 would be relaxed at home, minimal effort, and 10 being a maximal effort. For cardiovascular endurance benefits, you would aim to work at a rate between 6 to 8 out of 10. Another way is to use technology. There are many devices from sports watches, Fitbits, Apple Watch, etc. that you can now program with your details to monitor your exercise intensity levels and even perform ECGs if you really want it. Okay, so one important caveat to that is when using devices is that they don't generally work if you have an irregular or ectopic beat. So the sensor needs a consistent rhythm to establish your heart rate per minute. So in this instance, don't use technology. You are far better off using the previously mentioned Borg scale or estimated theoretical max formula to manage your intensity levels. Now, METs are another unit of measurement for intensity levels. It is suggested a minimal capacity level of about 5.5 METs, which is metabolic equivalence, established by a low-level exercise tolerance test, is recommended to start on a rehab program. And you can see the diagram here for METs equivalent activities. So a person with a maximal capacity of 8 METs, for example, activities equivalent to 4 METs for walking at 4 miles per hour would represent a training intensity of about 50% max or about 65% heart rate max. This supports the concept that exercise doesn't have to be overly vigorous to be productive. So remember that it's unwise just to rely on any one indicator, and no one knows your body like you do. So remember that you should be able to hold a conversation while exercising at the correct level. Pay attention to the signs, and if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not, regardless of what the theoretical max or the technology is telling you. Learn to listen to the inner wisdom of your body. Okay, time. So a total time of 150 minutes of cardiovascular exercise per week is recommended. This can be broken down into individual training sessions throughout the week. It's recommended for cardiovascular endurance benefits to exercise between 20 to 60 minutes per session. 20 minutes as a beginner and incrementally progressing to 60 minutes as you become more advanced. Now, the type of exercise is also important. The type of activities that you do is also important. Activities that use large muscle groups in a rhythmical manner, such as walking, rowing, swimming, aerobic type classes, and of course, specific cardiac rehab classes, which contain all the necessary components for safe and effective exercise. So when it comes to the benefits of cardiac rehab exercises, evidence that exercise reduces mortality rates in patients with heart disease demonstrated not only a 20% reduction in mortality, but a further cardiac event and reduction in revascularization or stents. Okay, so let's have a look at some key facts. So more than a third, that's 37% of adults in the UK, do not achieve recommended levels of physical activity, which is the 150 minutes each week we spoke about. Being more physically active can reduce the risk of developing heart and circulatory disease by as much as 35%. An estimated 2/3 of adults in the UK were unable to meet these requirements. Individuals who are physically active have a lower risk of developing coronary heart disease, and the protective effect of physical activity and fitness is well documented. Inactivity is considerably more prevalent than other major risk factors, such as smoking, high cholesterol, and hypertension. It's been suggested that increasing levels of activity could have a bigger impact on reducing the incidence of coronary heart disease than interventions designed to modify the other main risk factors. So the benefits of exercise, well, we've got decreased cholesterol, we've got increased protective HDL, decreased triglycerides, improved glucose and insulin dynamics with improved sensitivity to insulin. We've got reduced body fat, reduced blood pressure. In addition, exercise is known to reduce triggers for cardiac events by preventing thrombus formation, improving endothelial function, reducing the potential for serious arrhythmias. What do you now do with all this information you're armed with? So now you know the how, when, why, what of exercising. So if you're currently exercising, compare what I've given you here and see where you're at and where you can make some improvements to your own regime. If you're not exercising yet, then here is a great guide to get you started, and if you need some guidance, we're here to help. It's what we love to do. Now, I understand that many people have concerns and excuses when trying to get started on a new exercise program. So I've tried to address some of the main issues below. Okay, number one, I'm too overweight to exercise. Well, part of the reason that you may be overweight in the first place may be down to the fact that you don't move your body enough. A sedentary lifestyle is a major component in being overweight. So if you're not moving enough at the moment, start with the easiest thing you can, walk. If you can't walk, get on a stationary bike and cycle, or try swimming. Make sure you exercise at low intensities to begin with. Do a little every day or as often as you can. In the UK, around 1 in 6 heart and circulatory disease deaths are associated with a high body mass index. Okay, so I'm too old to exercise. No such thing. Coronary heart disease is a progressive degenerative process of the coronary arteries. Inevitably, the older the individual, the more likely that there is damage to the arteries. And coronary heart disease rarely occurs before the age of 30, and the risk steadily increases with age. So, to reverse or to protect from further damage, exercise is highly recommended. It also provides many other associated health benefits, and you're never too old to do some kind of physical exercise and build up your muscles to be stronger than you are today. I get enough exercise doing the gardening. Well, I beg to differ. Remember the METs we looked at earlier? Gardening is about 3 to 4 METs. We need to be working on our cardiovascular endurance, and this is unlikely to be achieved from gardening. So put down your shears, put your exercise shoes on, and join in a rehab class. I have high blood pressure. Should I exercise? Look, you're not alone. An estimated 28% of adults in the UK have high blood pressure, and that's around 15 million adults. So as long as you're stable and the blood pressure is being managed, it is recommended for you to exercise regularly. If you're concerned about the levels, then check, and if your blood pressure is above the systolic blood pressure figure of 180 or the diastolic blood pressure over 100, then it is not recommended for you to exercise, and you should probably contact your doctor. But other than that, join in with an exercise plan. Start somewhere, start today. I don't like doing exercise. Well, movement is part of life, and if you're not moving, you're not living effectively. The simple solution here is to find some form of exercise you do like, or put it another way, a form of exercise that you dislike the least. A community setting or doing it with friends helps, especially with accountability. From what we have shared with you in this article, you now understand the importance of a consistent exercise program. So, let's get to it. I hope this list has been a helpful resource for you as you work to improve your health and fitness. Please feel free to contact the team at Cardiac Rehab online if you have any questions. So thank you for watching this video today. Here's to creating a healthier, happier world, one person at a time. Thank you.